David Roditi. I grew up in Guadalajara, Mexico, and then at 14, since my mom was American, I moved to the United States, to Southern California, learned English, got into the whole Southern California junior circuit, USTA, and eventually, second year 16s, I started doing really well in Southern California, and then got to nationals, and eventually ended up number 8 in singles in the United States in the 18 and unders, won one Super National, the indoors in singles, and lost in the finals of Kalamazoo in doubles. I had a very good idea going in what I was getting into, and I had one of the best experiences that I think anybody could possibly have going into college. I think a lot of it was of all the work and research that I did leading up to going there. I said, okay, when I'm on the tennis court, I'm gonna think about tennis. When I'm studying, I'm gonna think about studying. And then when I'm with my friends, I'm thinking about being with my friends. So sort of being in the moment, and I think that just allowed me to do my time management and help me. And I believe it's because I didn't have anybody doing anything for me, basically from the age 14 on. There's also coaches out there that will basically say anything you want to hear. And if you don't have somebody helping you who really knows the game or knows every program, you can be easily misled into going to the wrong environment, and a year later or two you end up transferring because you don't get to play. That's where the coach has to do their homework, and it's hard. Recruiting is hard, and they're trying to coach a team and recruit at the same time. And I believe that those coaches that do the best homework, really getting to know the player's parents, that will tell you a lot. I used to say, forget about bringing the player for a recruiting trip. Let's just bring the parents. Then you know who you got. Talk to their coaches. Talk to their coaches who maybe coached them before. Has this kid had 7 different coaches in the last 5 months? That's a sign. I mean, there are little things that you can pick up as a coach. Has this kid been loyal and committed to a certain program all through the juniors? The people that have been around them, how do they speak of them? I mean, you don't just watch this kid when he's on the tennis court and how he behaves and how he represents himself. You also watch him off the court. How does he relate to other kids? What does he do 30 minutes before his match? What does he do 30 minutes after his match? The whole recruiting process is one of those first big decisions that a teenager makes in their life. My recommendation to parents is that this is a great opportunity to put it on your son or daughter to take ownership of the recruiting process, for them to be very involved, for them to be the ones talking to the coaches, for them to be the ones writing the letters, for them to get on the internet and start finding out about schools, for them to work individually with a company that will help them find the right place. Basically, in the way they communicate, and how quickly they respond, and how proactive they are, and how mature they are when you have a conversation, you get a very good feel about what this kid is all about. Are they doing everything possible to get to your school? Are they dying to come to your school? You give them an application, and a week later, 3 days later, you have it back in the admissions office at the school. Anything you ask from them, you got it. I can't even imagine. I don't understand why anybody would do it. I guess some players, they didn't feel about tennis the way I felt, and they were okay just being part of a group. That was always a battle. Who's gonna play 6 and who's gonna play 7? Who's gonna travel and who's not? Not even that. It's basically who's gonna play and who's not. These kids would get so nervous about playing that when they got to play, they were so nervous because they didn't want to lose, because they knew they would move out. It's just a tough spot to be on. I wouldn't recommend anybody to choose to be in that situation. Get a very realistic assessment of where you are as a player, how hard you're willing to work at something, and and then making your decision. So it's important to have sort of a team of mentors, people that you trust, people that you know that will guide you through this whole process. That's who know the ins and outs of different programs. Know that every time you're on the court and off the court, somebody's watching, and you're always representing yourself, and you never know how that's gonna come back and either help you or haunt you. Your game at 16 or 17 years old is just the beginning of it, and that college can be an unbelievable stepping stone for either a pro career afterwards or just a way for you to make lifelong friends and learn probably some of the biggest lessons you will ever learn.